Cool. Somebody stole one of my pens. I just get with the old full color. I get me a nerd one. All right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Apparently something knocked off some lights. Well, sunshine like that. Got some lights off. I don't know what happened. No, they gotta figure out something did that and knocked those out. But anyway, that won't stop us from the show, right?
That's right.
Isn't that right? We are Ur. Whatsoever make manifest is our Ur. So we are him. Isn't that right? To light it up and make it right. All right, we're going to get ready and hit them sound of Kato Sarah. Then after that, we're going to get ready and go down and Palau, Mr. Yahuwah through Yahusha, HaMashiach, the anointed one. All right? All right, please, if you will. All right. All right. All of that able, we'll go down and we pull out. Most High, Yahuwah Elohim, which is the superior one, we Yakra upon your Shem, which is called upon your name, asking you to have recome upon us with your mercies, that which you give through Yahushua, HaMashiach, for his moot, his death, his kum, which is his resurrection, for his ahab, which is his affection, his care, for his shama, how he hearkened and listened and obeyed that which you gave unto him to do. And in so doing, you gave us an opportunity to be like-loved, which is like-minded, to turn and transform from our ma'al and our kata, which are our transgressions and our sins, that of the Abbas, which are the other fathers, and of the Benin, which are the children, and of us, the Tuladah, which are the generations. We ask you to Barak Jerusalem, your Shamayim and your Sabut, which are the heights and expansion, where you dwell in your armies, your Ra'ah and your Malaki, your messengers and your shepherds and your messengers, even to those married, single, and separated, behind prison walls and bereaved, gone astray and taken from us. Recover our young adults and our benim, our children. We are keeping of those that are here that we lose none. We ask you to be a present Yom healer, which is a present day. Asking you to restore us, not only for the physical in the basar, which is the flesh, but for our nafash, which are our souls, and for the ruach's sake, for the spirit's sake, that we falter, faint not, that we receive your ruach hakadash, that we halak, which is walk according to that which you amar, which you commanded. Barak those behind prison walls, bereaved and war-stricken country, disease and pestilence, the out of town, encourage and strengthen their lives. Those watching in that seeking you in your redemption, that seek a ra'ah and a adah at their own law, which is a shepherd and a congregation. We ask if there's anything we said or done that can hinder or cause us to falter, have a defect in our amanah, which is what we, our stability, which we build up. We ask you to cast it from us, manifest it, that we might know it and we might turn from it, of our own will, because of our heart for you and for what you've done for us. We ask you, we prepare to move further, that you search us and see if there's anything. Cast it from us and halal us, which is guide us into the way everlasting. Let the debar of our power, words of our mouth, and the meditation of our law, which is of our hearts, be acceptable in your own, which is in your sight. And we ask you to take full control, that you get the tahalim, the praises, the kabul, the glory, and the kabod, which is the honor, in the shem, which is the name of Yahushua, HaMashiach. Let us all say, Amen. Oh, woo, look at that. Prayed the lights on. Won't he do it? I don't know what happened to the lights anyway. Breaker kid down. I know they want that breaker tripping. That was you, Hayward. How many of y'all know Hayward be tripping? That's it. Now we're gonna start calling you. Your new name gonna be Breaker.
because you be tripping. Y'all like that? Breaker, because he be tripping. That right, now take it on the road. That's right. I thought I seen Chris. No, we don't have Chris. We ain't going to have no wrong answers. That's going to be tight. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say that. I know Hayward will say that. Hayward don't mind slandering a man while he ain't him. If he can fight for himself like his granddaddy fought. Isn't that right?
That's
Who
right.
you say his granddaddy fought? John Henry, who built the railroad? I know he wouldn't have won that fight. Man built a railroad. You didn't want to fight. Nobody built a railroad with his bare hand. That man hit you, he gonna nail you. Somebody getting knocked out, ain't it? You don't want to fight. Now, them railroad workers today, they don't crack. So that's a whole nother animal there. All right, we're gonna look at Romans chapter 15 and verse 4. Again, we use BethHamashiach.com for those that watching it. People constantly ask me, what book it is you be? I want to copy that book. I don't have no book. We pull it up here, and we'll use a Septuagint, which is the Greek version, which means 70. We'll use the Latin Vulgate, which is the Latin version, the Roman version. And they came in and wrote their version after they conquered our people, stole our writings, and put disinformation and misinformation in there. And we'll go back and we'll look at that too. We're not ducking none of the versions. At the end of the day, we just want to get to perfection.
That's right.
In order to get to perfection, you got to go through some things. Isn't that right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we got to look at. So we're going to look at this. This is Romans 15 and 4. And he'll read it for those watching. I had the readers to read the King James perversion so we can see what was said from their standpoint when they transgendered the writings. And we can go back and get a closer idea of what was actually intended and said, which makes a world of difference. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
All right, Romans 15 and 4, listen.
For whatsoever things Nikatar before time,
Whatever was written before
Nikatar for our lament,
was written to teach us
that we through endurance
that through endurance that they put patience for.
and the coon of the Kitabim.
Right there, and conjunction. Because while we enduring, you need some consolation.
That's right.
Isn't that right? And your consolation should come from the writings. We might
Have your call.
That's right. That's what we're looking at. Let's look at something since we're there already. I'm thinking, my mind got to work a little bit. See if that's 34. Let me see how to play with this a little bit. See if it's 30 Bamat bar. We're going to play with this one. I'm sorry, Bar Rashid. I said Bamat bar. That's the Abri word for wilderness that they call numbers, which make no sense. Unless they were trying to use numbers because they stayed there for 40 years. You know what I'm saying? But anytime you lost, in a sense, you're in the wilderness anyway.
Yep.
So I don't know if you're going to use that and come out correct anyway. I guess that's the... See, when you got other people trying to come in and trying to name your stuff, that's where your problem come in at. That's not a name, that's not a shem he gave like Exodus, because they talking about we departed. That's not the name of the book. The name of the book was the names. Yeah. People said, but they did leave. Yeah, they did, but not without knowing who he was. Right. And the problem we got now, just like the so-called Negro want to leave America, he ready to depart from captivity again, but what he failed to forgotten or failed to recognize, he don't even know the shem, the name. Right. It's important to know about it and know who he made his berith with, his covenant, his vow with. You know what I'm saying? That's something we got to look at. We got to learn. When you leave him, where you going? All you going to do is leave here and go somewhere else. You're going to be just as backward as you was when you were him. The other thing we can do is out here and be nomads traveling and don't know where we're supposed to go. We don't even know how we actually originated and got here.
Right.
Other than we go back and read the book. I mean, from what area did they actually pick us up from?
Right.
Some of us were already dispersed from Jerusalem before the white face came and took us. And we left on ships. So some of the live people telling you, you need to really go back and think. They believe that the white man brought every black man to America if you to be stupid. And all right, we just didn't outnumber him because we populated. We outnumbered because we was already him.
Yeah.
We had already sold every seat they got. We had already sold. We already been there. Isn't that right? We had already covered this place.
Yes, sir.
Don't listen to these people telling you that lie. You go back and look, we were everywhere.
Yeah.
Isn't that right?
Yes, sir.
So I'm trying to think. See if that's Barashit. They call it Genesis. I don't know. Let's play 30. Oh, shoot. Let me try 32 and 24. Let's see where this goes. How about that? I'm out here. How about that? We're going to play. 32, 33. Let me see. No, 32, 34, 33. See 33 and 24.
There's no 24 and 33.
It's not.
No, sir.
What is it, 18? What's the last verse?
20.
Back me up to 14, let me say. Hold on. No. 34. Yeah, he'll rake that altar down. No, 35. We'll get that by. That's what happens when you get old. Try down. Let me see what. Oh, good. Hold on. $36. We'll get there. No. Want to see what recall when she got ready to have Ben Yamin. What is it? 39? No, 39. You said 29. Shouldn't have been that. It should have been later. Is it 29? Okay. Well, 29 and 30. I'm probably on way over there. Huh? Yeah. It was a Edom. Huh? 35 sisters. I went to 35, didn't I?
Yes, sir.
But I went all the way down to 24, didn't I? So tell you 14. That's what happens when you get old. I can't remember like I used to. But I guarantee you did, though. Don't be around here sitting around committing no to a tato.
That's right.
I'll tell anybody, you got to get a mind and live right. That is. You ain't gonna never make it, you don't get a mind and live right. You gotta wanna do this thing.
That's right.
I tell you what, I ain't got no constraint on me either.
That's right.
God told me either. What I'm supposed to do, he told me that, well, he said there's a con which are among you. He told us, he warned us. He said he was one. And he said he was a witness and a partaker of the kabul that's gonna be revealed. Told me to feed the flock of Elohim, which was among me. Don't let them give it to me. He told me to take the oversight.
Yeah.
Told me not by constraint either, but willingly.
Yeah.
Told me not for future lucre, but with ready mind.
Yeah.
Told me don't try to be no Adon over Elohim heritage. Told me be an example to the flock, to the Adon. All right, this is 35:16. I put 14. Well, but I just went on to 16. Let me see 14. That's good. All right, 35:14. Listen.
And Yaakov set up a pillar in
For
the
those
mount.
listeners, if you don't know, they call it Genesis. The proper name is Barashit, because you're saying in the Beth. In is one of the symbols for Beth, and Rashid. The Rash is the first, the head, the captain, the chief. So you're saying in the first, in the beginning. Okay? Yaakov set up, what happened?
A pillar in the Malkum where he talked with him, even a pillar of a bond. And he poured a drink offering thereon and poured oil thereon.
That's what happened.
And Yaakov, Yakra, the Shem of the Malkum where Elohim spake with him, Bethal.
What happened? You know what he called it, Bethal? Listen what happened.
And they journeyed from Bethal, and there was but a little Darak to come to Ephrath.
But you know what else amazing too? If you look at that pillar, that's the same thing they did with Yahusha. Hold what you got. See if that second Barnabas, they call it Timothy, Beth. See they call it second Timothy. See if that, 3 and 15. I'm gonna call it Beth Barnabas, which means he was born of the Ba. Barnabas. The Bar for born, Naba, what they were called the prophets. What's that? 3 and 15.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
sorry. First, olive. Let's end that from a child. Olive. 1 Timothy. By number 3 and 15. Listen,
But if I tarry long,
he said, but if I should delay,
that thou mayest know
behold, that you shall know.
how thou oughtest to behave thyself
I can imagine.
in the bet of Elohim,
In the where now?
in the bet of Elohim,
What is this?
which is the kahal,
Yeah, I don't know, that's what they put on a doll.
which is the adah of the kai Elohim,
For assembly. Nobody used church. Nobody but Christian. Of the Kai Elohim.
the pillar,
The what?
the pillar
And
ground of the Amah.
that's all he told us. Y'all hear that? He said that's what it was. It said the pillar and the ground of it. Y'all hear that?
Yes, sir.
So we'll go back and we'll look at something there. Pick me up at 4 and 10. Who know what I want? Right? Yahushua, Acts of the Apostles, chapter 4, verse 10. You fine. We'll just go based on what we heard. How about that? Then we'll go to Yucatan. Let's see what happened. God, the muddy no. Got a little on my stomach. Got a mark on me. Cain had a mark on him too, and they meant don't mess with him.
That's
You
right.
see that mark, you don't mess with him. That's right, a mark. I said, don't mess with him. He had one on his head, I got mine on the head of my belly. Don't mess with me. Like everybody, I'm mark myself, tell them, don't mess with me. All right, that's 4 and 10. This one is.
Be it known unto you all,
To who now?
be it known unto you all,
Conjunction.
and to all the arm of Yahshua,
See that? That.
by the Shem of Yahushua, HaMashiach of Nazareth, whom ye crucified, whom Elohim cum from the moot, even by him doth this each stand here before you, Bari.
So that healthy. Okay, Byron. You looked up here? You already had it wrote
We
down?
had our, yes,
Oh,
sir.
that's sweet. That, man. Look at that. Lee ain't have no mess. That man something. Do you think somebody be holding you back? Be messing with you? With them wrong answer? No. Hayward the one be one. Hayward trying to, the author. Go ahead. All right. Verse 11. Listen.
This is the Abban which was set at naught of you builders.
This was the what now?
The Abban
The Abon, the stone,
which was set at naught of you builders
which was rejected by you, the builders, which
is become the Rosh of the corner.
the Rosh, the chief, the head. That's why it's Ba Rashi, the chief, letting us know he's the first one. Before you build, you got to lay a foundation, and it's a certain corner that you're gonna lay. When they built with stone, one stone you're gonna lay gonna be the corner. So you have a church, they'll have a stone, they'll write out and they'll call it the cornerstone.
Yeah.
Because that's their chief. Can we look up what cornerstone means? In the googly, in the oogly googly. Cornerstone, an important quality or feature on which a particular thing depends or is based. Now that make a difference,
Yes, sir.
don't it?
Yes, sir.
So when you look up, now again, remember this, we don't have a word cornerstone. But when the English translated and they came and they used English writing verbiage, this was the closest thing they had to what we would call it, which would be very much true. An important quality or feature on which a particular thing depends or is based. You can build a building, you'll say, that's the cornerstone. They'll have people in church. You remember years ago in the church, they would call people cornerstone? They be like, mother so-and-so, she the cornerstone of this thing, or deacon so-and-so. They were saying out of all of the other people there, that was a particular person on whom more responsibility, more honor was stored upon because of how long they had been there in the start of it. So that's why that's why it was so important to understand his particular position and where he was with the whole situation. Let's see something right quick. Now pay attention, cornerstone, an important quality or feature on which a particular thing depends or is based. Y'all got that? Let's look at Abari chapter 2 at verse 1. See, we'll just go with what we read and take off from there. How about that?
Yes, sir.
Abari, they call Hebrews, or you can do Abarim, Hebrew. So we use Abari. 1. We'll read this. Let's see. 1 and 1. Abari, they call it Hebrews. And the only reason they call it Hebrews because if he went to the store and paid for that bill, that's his brew.
That's right.
Isn't that right?
Yes, sir.
Or if he made it, he brewed it. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Listen.
Elohim, who at sundry times and in divers manners spake in time past unto the Abba by the Nabaim.
What else?
That's it in verse 1 on
Oh,
that.
I'm sorry. It said the Elohim who spake, which is Deber. That's what they use. I use Debar. They use Deber because he's doing vowel points. Who spoke in time past at many times. That's why I use sundry time and divers. So in many times and within many years. But the other one, I think it definition to in many different ways. But it said within many years unto the Abba, the fathers, by the hand of the Nabaim, spake to us. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, that's verse 2.
At verse 2.
Hath in these last Yamim spoken unto us by his ben.
This is says spoke to us in these last Yamim, has spoken to us in his being. Okay.
Whom he hath appointed heir over all things.
See that? Whom his name, Shem, was to inherit all things. And
By
also,
whom?
I'm sorry, and what else?
By whom also he made the Olam.
So that's a tool. Now that man being used like a tool, or you can say cornerstone.
That's right.
Let's say, verse 3.
Who being the brightness of his kabod and the express image of his person,
Of his substance.
and upholding all things by the debar of his power,
Sustains all things by the word of his power.
when he had by himself purged our kata,
Purified our Kata'im. What else?
sat down on the right
hold on one
hand
second
of the
for me.
majesty.
Hold on, stop. No, Kata'im is sinners. So what is it for sins? Just plural. Kata'i. Kata'i. Like Kata'i for sins.
Yes, sir.
Plural. Okay. Go ahead.
Sat down on the right hand of the majesty on high,
Himself, by himself. He sat down on the right hand of the majesty on high. Okay. Having
made so much better than the Malachi, as he had by inheritance obtained a more excellent Shem than they.
Okay. Let's see what happened. 4.
Unto which of the Malachi said he at any time, Thou art my Ben, this Yom have I begotten thee. And again, I will be to him a Abba, and he shall be to me a Ben.
Let's read that. For to which of the Malachim, messengers, did he ever say, You are my Ben? Today I have begotten you. And again, I shall be a Abba to him, and he shall be a Ben to me. Okay. Go ahead.
And again, when he bringeth in the first begotten into the Olam, he said, and let all the Malachim of Elohim shakah him.
Bow down to him. Okay. 7.
And of the Malachim he said, who maketh his Malachim Ruach, and his Sharet a flame of fire.
Okay. Let's see what it said. Verse 8.
But unto the Ben he said, thy throne, O Elohim, is Elam and Elam.
Forever and ever. And
A scepter of Sadiq is the scepter of thy Malkut.
this is D. He says straightness. It's the scepter of his Malkuth. So the reason why we were looking at this, because when we looked up Cornerstone, we were looking at something that was more significant, something that played a bigger part and an attribute. That's how we look at him. So when Cuff was talking in the 4th chapter of the book of Acts of the Apostles, we were talking about this was the stone which was rejected by the builders, which had become the head. How we know the head is to be the Rosh, the chief, the first, and that's what you look at with the cornerstone. That's what you put there. So that's how important it was to recognize and understand who he was. And that was all based off of the way we kind of gone now, but based off of what Jacob did. When Jacob had come down, he poured oil and wine on it. That's why when they gave Yahusha wine, he couldn't have held it. Someone had to spill on him. When the woman took the oil, she put it on his head and anointed him before that.
Yeah.
She was anointing the stone.
Yes, sir.
That's what Jacob did. Because he declared that was Yahuwah's house, his bed.
That's right.
Which means that was his family.
Yes, sir.
That's right. And the house needed a bin.
That's right.
That's how it continues.
Yes, sir.
That's how important it was for us to pay attention when we read out whatever was written before was written for our learning, the learning of, so that through endurance and through consolation. That's how we do it. We don't just do this just through it, through consolation. Our consolation come through the writing.
That's right.
That's how we get your call.
Yes, sir.
Y'all got it? So it
Yes,
makes
sir.
sense. So we can go back and read. We kind of ran off on him. We'll go back to the 35th chapter of the book of Barashit at verse 14, 35 and 14. So the only thing I was looking at in the book of Aubrey, we're looking at the first stone, or the cornerstone. That's how significant it was. He said, this Yom, he said, I never said that to the Malachim. He said that this day I begotten you, and that they were his ben, that you are my ben, not benin, which means he has other sons, but that particular one is the cornerstone.
Yes, sir.
He's the most significant. He's the most one reverence. Listen what happened. 35 and 14 of Barashit, the book they call Genesis. Listen.
And Jacob set up a pillar.
Look what he did. What did they do when they put him on the tube?
Set him up.
They set it up, didn't they? Same thing. Look what Jacob did. He set up a pillar. Listen what he did at.
In the Malkum, where he talked with him.
See that way he spoke to him. And what happened?
Even a pillar of a bond.
See that? Even a pillar of stone.
And
And then he said that's the one we rejected.
That's right.
So we saw what the pillar was. The pillar was a stone.
Yes, sir.
A pillar is just something that supports, like the Amunah. It supports.
Yes, sir.
That's all he did. He put a support there. And
He poured a drink offering
See that?
thereon.
that's what happened with Yahushua. And
He poured oil thereon.
that's why the woman busted the alabaster box. And he tried to tell her she did it for his burial.
That's right.
He knew what he was talking about. They were significant. So those that watched, they knew.
They knew.
That's how important the Shalakim was, because they were witnesses to what they saw.
That's
That's
right.
how we going back. That's how this would come back that they were showing, and they could prove definitively that he was the Mashiach. We'll talk how Shaul, he stood and he said and he argued with them in the synagogue. Isn't that right?
Yep.
And he was defending that Yahushua was the Mashiach.
That's right.
That's what he did. He spent, I think he said, 3 Shabbats, reasoning, opening and alleging that Yahushua had to suffer.
That's right.
You see that? That's how important it is when you're reading to look at what he did.
Yes, sir.
All right, listen. 36. I'm sorry, 15. Go ahead.
And Jacob, Yakra, the Shem of the Malkum, where Elohim spake with him, Bethal.
See that? Elohim's house. Isn't that right? And we know what goes in the Beth, right? The family.
That's right.
Isn't that right?
Yes, sir.
That's what we know. We know the family. All right, let's see what happened. 35:16.
And they journeyed from Bethal, and there was but a little Durak to come to Ephrath, and recall travail, and she had hard labor.
So now she began to give birth, and she suffered in her severe labor. Right? Listen,
And it came to pass when she was in hard labor
When she was in severe labor,
that the midwife said unto her,
I couldn't imagine.
Yahweh not,
Why?
thou shalt have this being also.
Listen what happened. When she was in her severe labor, bearing, which means she was doing what? She was enduring. Endurance. She was going through endurance because this was severe labor. See that? She was bearing, means she was enduring. While she was giving labor, she was also severe labor, so she was enduring. Listen what happened. The midwife said to her, do not. That's what you were told. That's consolation.
Yes, sir.
Listen what they told her for a consolation. For now you have another being. See that's a whole expectation. A woman going through birth, the whole cycle, that's an expectation. I need to get this baby. This need to get over with.
Yeah.
They keep saying push and do this and do this. Her whole thing is this baby got to come out, and once it delivers, that's her consolation. So that's what he told us about the writing. That's how important it is. We have to know the writings. Listen.
And it came to pass, as her nephash was in departing, for she moved,
See that? What happened?
that she Yakra his Shem ben Onai,
Why?
but his Abba called him Benjamin.
See that? He was the son of his day. She said, that's the son of my sorrows.
Yes, sir.
So y'all gonna imagine when it come down to us what Yahusha had to say about us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Will we be the son of his days, or will we be the sons of his sorrow? Because he suffered for us.
That's right.
Just like her, we be the son of his sorrow. Y'all got it?
Yes, sir.
Because he look at what he went through, what he had to endure in order to get us him. It came to pass at the end, he moved. Isn't that right? After giving birth.
Yeah.
That's how we knew he couldn't have died until it was completed. When they told you that somebody pierced him in his side and what came out, it's not possible because she didn't move until after she had given birth. See, the way they got it written, when we look at the other version, they'll show him dying before it was even completed.
Right. Right.
Isn't that right? So that's what we started to look at. What was you looking up, Boston? No, you good. Was you looking up something, Anita? But go look it up. Go ahead then. We'll work together. Look, you ain't throwing me off. I ain't got no script. We'll work it out.
That's right.
You know? We'll throw it against the board. We'll see if it stick. At the end of the day, our whole goal is to get understanding. Like, you got to think about it for them. Their whole ideology wasn't them looking up words and knowing what words meant. It was customary for them because it was always things they constantly dealt with. You know what I'm saying? They was accustomed to it. They knew what things meant because, I mean, their vocabulary was actually what they dealt with and what they used every day. And they learned how to put what they use every day together, and it was symbolism in their conversation. And it all correlated to who they shakar, who they worship, who they look to, who they follow. And that's our goal, to get, and we look at this, we can put it into practice based upon the conversation or the things we use on a daily basis. They took everything away from us. And doing that, that's how they stripped us of a lot of our authority, who we are. When they told us we were gods, they reduced us. They told us we were gods like they told Superman, then they gave us kryptonite. These people, I don't know how these people went to another planet to get something that they went from to come back and cripple the man with it. That's what they did. They gone back and they used it against us. They come back, they used Elohim against us. Instead of when he was our friend, our companion, they made him our rock. They made him an enemy to us.
Yeah.
All right, listen. What is it? 35. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you finish what you were trying to find? Okay. Ben Oni, son of my
Sorrow.
That's probably how the word "some of my bench" came. I said bench. Bench, please. Bench.
That's right.
B-E-N-C-A. Now, I could use the other one that ain't gonna be Qatar, but I'm just trying to get everybody now to look at how we got to transform. This thing getting ready to wind up. Let me tell you what happened with everybody. Everybody had to be willing to transition quick. Where you'll find is when you can't transition, you ain't gonna make it. That's a constant transition. Constant. Yahusha went to people, tahaliming him, waving palms, leaves at him to kill him. That quick, you gotta be able to transition. That quick. It's gone from being a feeder, a healer of the people, to people turn around and say, do it for yourself. That's how quick you have to be in the transition. And when you can't do that, you won't make it. Life throw you a lot of curves and they'll do that, so everybody has to learn how. You got to transition at the end of the day what you come for. You didn't come in for none of this stuff or doing anything, but you got to be willing to transition. It's always a test of where you at. Yeah, everything is a test to see where you at. Okay, so you see what she called him? So that lets you know who we are. We're the son of his sorrow. That man was he was in severe labor doing that. Isn't that right? His daddy came on, it was good for him, but for us, for him, it was sorrow for him. And that's what the book told us about. He said he was a man acquainted with sorrow. So there was no way he could have looked at us and called us the men of his days.
Right.
It made sense. A man acquainted with sorrow and grief. A woman had grief. Woman ain't sitting there laughing while she having that baby. She in pain, hard sorrow. The people standing around talking, oh, get ready to come. She's like, I'm suffering right now. Until. Y'all got it. And when she looked on that bench, she looked at it. She said, you were sorrow to me. It was hard grief to have you. That's what we have to look at and consider. Hold, you got to look at the 53rd chapter of the book of Yeshayahu, they call Isaiah. Yeshayahu. Was it now 53 and 1? And then we'll go back, we'll look at, we already know recall, what recall mean. They call Rachel. Her name is Recall. Isn't that right? I think it means EU, like a small, like a lamb. Let's see what her name means, Recall. Then we'll come back in and bust it. Basti kicked the blood. Whoop, whoop. Yahusha kicked the blood. Yeah. You kick a plug the right way, your foot will bleed. Especially one of them cords and it's already cut, the plastic off of there and that wire sticking out, you cut your toe so you'll kick the blood. And then they cut when you kick it, the blood will shoot out your toe. Think about it. Practice it at home.
There it is.
Recall. How you pronounce it? Yeah, you. Now, I spell it Y-O-U. This is the white man play with y'all. It's the female being the predominant element of a flock as a good traveler.
Traveler.
Who? Traveler. See,
I think.
Yeah, you know what? How you?
Travel.
No, you good. Traveler. I'm tell you how you traveler though. You don't never start traveler off the rip. You get going.
You might be right.
Then
though.
you get the travail.
Travail spelled different.
It is. Traveler.
V-A-I-L. You might be right.
I might be right. Let's look up and
Because
see
it
that
say
word.
journey, so.
Sit down. For my journey now. See that? Traveler.
You right.
That's it. From the unused word meaning to journey. You see that? Sheep. Y'all know how important this is to us? All right. Let me see where you gonna put that at? He said, yeah. Tell me where you gonna put that at. Pastor, you know what happened to this? I'm tell you what happened there with mine. It is tight. Come long member. You ain't got no member tonight. It's tight, boy. When you gotta sit there and preach in them pews, I used to have man say, I gotta preach to the pew. So you can do it, you're gonna be disobedient. He ain't never gave me no call to send me out and tell me to preach in no wooden pew. No. And but he ain't got no member tonight. All them members gone. It's tight.
Yeah.
Well, the reason why you want to look at recall, and then look at it and tell you about the female being the more predominant element of the flock, okay, tell you about as a good traveler. Then we look at the unused root meaning to journey. Then tell you about the ear and the sheep. But then we start looking at her because she was on her journey too when she actually had. Some people say they're on their journey. As Greeks say, man, they're on their journey. Let's look at something right quick. Yeah. Let's see what happened. Rashid. I'm sorry. No. Olive, Shamuel. Let's see where they're going. So I'm looking at the name, all right? Y'all see if it makes sense. How about that? Shamuel. They call it Samuel. 15. Let's see about 15:5. Let's see what that's saying. Olive Shamuel. There's the Shamuel. So they're using the vowel point, the cood. They said, how you know they wrong when they doing that? Because white people did it. That's just, man, I'm looking at their history. They ain't never told the truth about nothing.
That's right.
Now you gonna come in here with your vowel point. Now, let me say this when I say that. Because I'm just not one of them people just 100% sold on just running with everything and be a pro against everything they said and done. And no, you know, a lot of our writing could definitely fall on the vowel point simply because they're going with sounds, the way certain things are enunciated. And they're trying to, and they reduce it and they try to use their discipline. Certain way you announce certain words will fall under the discipline of what they call vowels. But somebody said we had vowels, you're going to be telling lies. And constantly, that's something you made, that's not something we physically had, but just certain words under the science that they use calling a consonant and a vowel. Yeah, certain things you say, there are going to be free of Yahuwah. That's going to be like a vowel simply because it doesn't restrict. Certain words you say, you know what I'm saying, will come under the discipline of a consonant because it will restrict their speech. So if you use their science for what they're using, yes, you could transfer it over and try to put it there. But I think in doing that, they change some of our stuff to try to justify their speech. Like the book said, they changed the truth of Elohim into a lie. Mm-hmm. Let's see what happened. 15, this is Olive Shamuel. They call 1 Samuel 15:5. Shaul
Came to a city of Amalek,
and did what?
lay wait in the valley.
Y'all see what he did? And tell them what happened.
And Shaul said unto the Kenites,
What did he say?
Go, depart, get you down from among the Amalekites,
Why?
lest I destroy you with them.
Uh-huh.
For ye shewed kindness to all the Benim of Yasharal.
When?
They came up out of Mizraim.
So,
The Kenites departed from among the Amalekites.
let's see what happened. Verse 7. Listen.
And Shaul smote the Amalekites
He defeated them.
from Kavala until thou comest to Shur,
Uh-huh.
that is over against Mizraim.
See that? It faces over toward Mizraim. Okay. He
Took Agag, the Malak of the Amalekites, alive,
and
utterly destroyed all the arm with the edge of the sword.
let's see what happened. But
Shaul and the arm spared Agag, and the best of the sheep, and of the oxen, and of the fatlings, and the lambs, and all that was too,
and
would not utterly destroy them, but everything that was vile and refused, that they destroyed utterly.
everything they despised and things that were worthless. Let's see what happened.
Then came the debar of Yahuwah unto Shemuel, saying,
What did he say to Shamuel?
It repenteth me that I have set up Shaul to be Malak, for he is turned back from following me.
He said, I repent that I called Shaul to reign as Malak, for he turned back from following me and has not carried out my dabareens. And Shamuel,
And it grieved Shemuel,
he was distressed.
and he sa'ak unto Yahuwah all Layla.
Y'all see what he did? He cried out all night. Let's see what happened.
And when Shemuel Zarak early that to meet Shaul in the morning, it was told Shemuel, saying, Shaul came to Carmel, and behold, he set him up a Malchum, and is gone about and passed on and gone down to Gilgal.
I mean, he rolling. Gilgal is rolling.
That's right.
And he set him up a place. He rolling. What happened?
And Shemuel came to Shaul, and Shaul said unto him, Baraka be thou of Yahuwah. I have performed the Amar of Yahuwah.
Y'all hear that? I have performed the word of Yahuwah. That's what he said. Let's see what happened next.
And Shemuel said, What meaneth then this bleating of the sheep in mine ears? and the lowing of the oxen which I hear.
See that? Yahusha was up there crying out. Just like recall. We're in labor.
Yes, sir.
And let them know. It was to let Yahusha know too, and they heard him up on the tube crying out. It wasn't because you done what you supposed to been doing. He definitely didn't move because he was doing, because we did what we were supposed to been doing. The sheep, the you. So that bleed, he listened to him, he said, I could hear him crying out. And that was somebody that, and it represented you hadn't done what you were supposed to do. So when Yahusha was up on the tube and people heard him crying out, do you think that we were doing what we were supposed to have been doing? That's what we had to recognize. See, in our eyes, our own, and our thinking, we thought we were right. But look, you hear what the man told him? But Shemuel said, what then is the bleating of the sheep in my ears, and the lowing of the ox, which is the olive, which I hear? Why was the olive crying out? And the sheep, if we had done what we were supposed to have been doing. Well, don't worry about it.
That's right.
Yeah. That's what we recognize. Y'all got it?
Yes, sir.
That's how important it is to realize, and I say that to say, that's how important it is to make sure we're where we're supposed to be. We put a lot of time in a lot of other things we do, but you have to be willing to transition when it comes down to your soul. This thing is gonna come down to everybody ain't gonna make it. Every member of the well, y'all ain't gonna make it. Everybody out there ain't gonna make it. Everybody in Jerusalem ain't gonna make it. It's not, he's only gonna pick a certain particular people. And those people have to be willing to transition. You have to be willing at a matter of a second. When he tell you to drop something, move or something, that's what you gotta do. He tell you to cut something off, you gotta be able to cut it off. That's what you gotta do. When it come down to your nefesh, that's the most important thing. He got a lot of people that can't transition. And because they can't transition, he can't use them. That's just being honest. A lot of people can't do it. When he went to Andrew and he found his brother Cup, when he found them, he told them to drop their net. Them guys did it right then. And he said, follow me. That's the law they had. So you look at, he started putting these are people he sent out because these people knew how and were willing to do things for him, and they could follow direction. A lot of people can't follow. It'll hurt you. Before he sent them out to teach anybody, the first thing they had to do is show they could follow.
Yeah.
That's being honest. A lot of times, a lot of people mess up with that. A lot of people want to lead, but they can't follow. It's hard to lead when you can't follow.
Yes, sir.
That's being honest. You
That's
got to
right.
be able to follow. And a lot of people hadn't learned that science, a science to it. You know what I'm saying? And then it's giving up what you do. They gave up what they were doing.
Yeah.
Because sometimes what you do will hurt you in following him. So we learn.
Yes, sir.
Y'all got that the whole purpose of him. So we learn. So we sit here, Mr. Yahuwah have recall on whom he will. I was talking to one of my cousins, and she was telling me about how the disease now, the Delta variant, the Delta virus is ramping through the Virgin Islands. They lost 1,600 people for 4th of July, right after 4th of July. It's ripping through on them. And they saying it's worse than what they got right here. Right in the Virgin Islands, it just hit them. Right after, they just got hit with it. So I had to postpone that one. They don't walk in no death. I ain't walking in no deathbed. But I can tell y'all that right here for everybody. It's gonna get rough for everybody. We ain't seen the day. He told me they come out there, these days coming down, these y'all mean coming. He said he's gonna be the days of vengeance.
Yeah.
Mr. Yahuwah said he's gonna come back, he's gonna be suffering. He talked about people giving breastfeeding this time, people that pregnant with children this time. He said it's gonna be bad.
Yeah.
But all the stuff that we seeing that happening, he told us about it. And you know how many people gonna have to have a mindset to be willing, whether losing a baby, pregnant, or having one that's small, or a teenager, whatever, you still gotta be able to transition.
Yeah.
That's just being honest. He told us about before it happened. Let me tell you something. A lot of people serve him because of, things are well with them, and that's why they kind of serve him. I serve him because I came over and things weren't well with me.
Right. Right.
You got it? Things weren't well with me. So I came over in a hard time, and I was willing to let things go and give up stuff. That's how I got to a point, or I feel like where I'm at, or how I, kind of receive things. Because I was willing to let it go. A lot of people knew what I knew, but they won't walk away from that life, because they looked at what they had to do for them. But for me, I wouldn't let it go at the end of the day, because I want to be saved. And that gave me more consolation, his word, than being in those streets. Couldn't sleep at night, and knowing what I was doing and just knowing it myself, it didn't set right for me. I had to be saved, so I had to break away from it. Had to give up girlfriend, give up car, give up house, give up a lot of stuff. Gave up clothes, shoes, a lot of stuff. I had to just start just getting it out, just getting it out. I said, just had to get rid of stuff that brought me back that memory. I got rid of pictures, everything. I used to have a box with pictures and letters, a whole girlfriend. I had a whole bunch of y'all seen that stuff. They guys in here now, they get that stuff now, man. They'll mess around. It wouldn't be no lotion in Kroger. I had to get. Listen, I had a photo. I had picture, all that stuff. I used to have a picture. I had a box, had the underwear stuff in that. I ain't had no bloomers. Bloomers, them old lady drawers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bloomers come in light. They all light color. They light pink, lavender. It's supposed to have white, shiny bloomer. No, I had panties. You know, right? The thongs, all that stuff. I had all that stuff. But see, I got rid of that stuff. You know, I looked at though.
Right.
I looked at that's a life I used to have.
Yeah.
I did. I got rid of that. I did. That folk be like, that's just memory, you know, stuff. I'm like, remember for what?
Right. Exactly.
I'm done with that.
Yeah.
I remember he said, any man being a Mashiach, he supposed to be new. He said,
That's
all
right.
things supposed to passed away. All things supposed to become new.
That's right.
It supposed to be all in here. I can't sit around me, walk around. I'm a grown married man with grandkids. I don't have no bark with nobody else panting.
Yeah.
No, you gonna pick it up and swing around, try to act like you just swing, trying to see if you can smell something.
You gonna do it.
And gonna get out of there.
Yep.
You know, look around that thing, man, you start to reminiscing. You can't be mad. Patty had little bras in there. I ain't had no double D bras in there either. They done, who this is, your mama bra in here? No. I ain't had nothing that bought look like belonged to my mama. I ain't gonna lie, I did have one pair of bad. I had one girl, she had one pair of bad pair of drawers. I don't know why I had on them drawers. I think I kept on them to help her out. Yeah, that was a terrible pair. I gotta tell the truth though, if it come up into my spot. If I was sick, I'm gonna tell her. I'm gonna tell her them some terrible pair of drawers. It's been a long time, them drawers were terrible. But anyway, you know, it's just things you just looked at, you have to just be willing to get rid of if you want to be saved. Everybody can't do it. Had to give up yourself, give up your personality, give up things you got so Mr. Who can be you new. I'm living my best life now. I know more, I can serve better now, I'm freer now. I ain't have no power back then, I got power now.
Yeah.
Y'all see that? See, y'all done heard them words, ain't you? So got that control. We hear some folks say they've been hearing them, but they ain't heard it from me. I've been just holding on. I mean, I say this is what people do. I ain't gonna hold y'all all night, y'all be all right. But the problem comes with things, conversation, and people. If folks let them possess them, they don't take control. You gotta have control. You ain't got control, let it go. At the end of the day, you can't let them have no control over you. We supposed to be out here, we supposed to be the supreme one. Adam was the most superior, he was the smarter and the stronger person in the gun. That's why Yahuwah committed it to him. So it don't make sense for it to be him. When he put us in, he told us to subdue it. That's everything they got here. We supposed to overtake it. It ain't got no been overtaken up, whether the power, no woman, no conversation, no whoremonger, no lusting. We're not supposed to.
Right.
See, once you know who you are, like he cried, he wept when he sit up on the heart. When he saw, he said, because you don't even know what belonged to you.
Right.
You sit here and you don't realize the people that take you down, the things that take you down, it's only because you don't know. Once a person get the revelation, get the understanding what belonged to her, man, this is him. I was dead set on a job, just trying to get a good job and just trying to go to work, trying to put up in a 401k so I can have something when I get old and I can retire. Shoot, man, I learned about it. I said, man, I'm retired today. I'm living today. I want something, I want it down. I don't want to wait till I get old, can't drive, get a Corvette, get balled up in the thing, then I can't match the gas pedal, can't hit the brake, I went out the spreadway and I landed in that wall. I ain't got time for that stuff. I ain't got time for no 80-year-old midlife crisis.
Yeah.
When I get old and finna die together, why I can't get it now? I'm living now.
Yeah.
Ain't that right? But where they train you to sit and die and don't have and make you think what you can't do. They before have you sit right here. I ain't trying to live like no Jesus. That Jesus on that stick wasn't broke. He took our stuff.
Yeah.
Ain't that right? They manipulate us with what they gave us. Now we come in and learn who we are, learn what belongs to us, and what mess us up. We just ain't got a mind to do it. I got a lot of folks in here. Just trash, pitiful, pathetic, just sorry when they come down and want to do something. Scary to death. You know what scare you the most? Being outside, be out here begging at the hands of these people. Even Yahusha at that man, don't make me that poor. He said, please don't let me get no poor. He said, man, I don't want to have to go around here having to steal. I'd rather pay for something to sit around and just steal it. Ain't that right? Just have that piece of mind, got to sit around and be worried all through the night, wondering what's going to happen, what's going to come. Them folks made you thought that was salvation. Sitting around crying and worrying how you gonna make it and struggling, asking folk to pray for you. I need some money. You got some money? I want you to pray for something that's gonna be, you know, because I don't be praying him give me no money. You got some money?
Right.
Yeah, I pray when I don't be praying that man about getting no money. I pray for something that I go out here and I make I get it. They gotta fall. They're gonna fall to me anyway. In the day, I allow for stuff that's outside my control. And that stuff that he gonna look at, tell that man to strengthen you. Strengthen my mind, strengthen my understanding.
Yeah.
I can't strengthen my own mind and strengthen my understanding. He got to give it to me.
Yeah.
He said, get that with raw. He said, it'll feed you with it.
Yeah.
So all I do is ask for stuff I know. This is stuff that's inside your will. This is stuff that you'll deliver. These folks go asking for stupid stuff. Like, Lord, give me a house. No, let me say. He said, Yahuwah just wrong. He needs to get something. He said, sit inside your bed, nigga. Look at your paycheck. You know how much you owe out of this. How you gonna pay for a house?
That's right.
They study, pray, every stuff. It's not even practical. Some stuff people ask him for, it's not practical. Save me. Let's sit down. First of all, let's go with the list of what you're doing. You saying save me, what are you doing? Because it don't make sense. Here I'm a whoremonger, a liar and a cheat. Save me, Lord. Lord, goodness, you just told me why you ain't saved. So what do you need to start doing in order for you to be saved? You got to break these behaviors.
Yeah.
That's just building. You got to break these behaviors. You're going to be saved. I asked that man to do nothing and then I'm going to do something contrary. It don't make sense. Everything we do need to line up inside their will. When you ask us after something that's already in his will. It ain't his will that none should perish, that all should come well. Why am I stopping on? You said in your word, none should perish. Oh, you ain't no liar. Oh, I know you will. But why the man said you supposed to come to repentance? Because we start where we want to start and we don't see exactly what he told us to do. Y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
No weapon gonna form against you. No weapon formed against me gonna prosper. Is that all I got? That belongs to somebody that has an inheritance.
Yeah.
So that folk be going around quoting and saying stuff, that's gonna be somebody that's a joint heir. When I'm telling you what's gonna happen, that's to somebody that's connected.
Yeah.
Folk be asking and quote stuff, it don't go to you.
Right.
These sons are quote a lot of stuff, it don't go to them. That when that man, when he stood up, he said, be it known unto you all. And he put a conjunction and all the belt of Yahusha. This ain't everybody. He telling the people that need to know this is a fact. Some people, don't waste your time trying to make nobody else do nothing. You got to have in your own law.
That's right.
Shoot, I be one of them people, I'm telling you, I one of them people, I just be persuaded on my own. I don't worry about what folks do at the end of the day. I set my mind to do something, that's what I'm going to do. That's the end of the day. I just set my mind, I'm going to do it. That's it. Work or don't. One thing I do, I don't never hold and count on Mr. Yahuwah. I don't say, man, you let me down. You shot. No, I'm going to go for it. He told me whatever I find my hand to do, he told me to do it with all my might.
That's right.
That's what he told me to do. So when I find I do it, I take off, I just go and do it. Mr. Yahuwah put it in somebody's law, he going to put it in somebody, he going to put somebody right there going to say, listen, come on, we're going to do this right here. He going to put it, he'll give me something, say, I'll give you a little help with that. That's how he do it. But the first thing I try to make sure, though, make sure you're living right. If you trying to go hold him to no word, then you ain't doing what you need to do. I always want to ask him and have that mindset of asking if it's something I'm doing, if it's something I'm not seeing, I want to see it so I can get it and I want to move. Then don't you give me understanding. I don't want to get it be telling something. That might not be what I'm looking at. Because see, some people get in themselves. When I look, even when you look at this, the problem becomes with using a lot of different translation where some people get in here and they start picking what they like. I'm talking about picking what they like to a point of when they don't want to do something, they run somewhere else. I ain't running from nothing. At the end of the day, I want to know what it is. Because, when you live a course of your time and you made enough decisions, enough bad decisions, you done live long enough, you done seen enough stuff, at some point, you just got to get where change got to happen. Isn't that right? Anything that come to me to be kazoon to me, if my purpose is being saved, it can't hurt me.
That's right.
I don't say I can hurt me. At the end of the day, if I get it and I understand it and it's right, how did that hurt me? Oh, I'm finna kill. Oh, I'm finna kill him. I'm finna hit him with that truth. That thing finna kill him. You know when it kill me? I ain't had no mind to do it.
Yeah.
You got that being honest. How you gonna kill me with the mind? I got my mind already set on. I already got my mind. All the stuff I got, it belonged to me. He loaned it to me. Somebody lost it, he gave it to me, and I'm gonna work it while I got it. Isn't that right? Till I pass it on somewhere else, or we see fit to get it back. I'm gonna use it while I got it. At the end of the day, I let it do. I ain't gonna let it use me though. That's right. That's everybody in him. You gotta have your health, your strength, everything you got. That belong to him. And when you get that mindset and get yourself to captivate on what you got to do, what's the most important thing, what you need to be aiming, what your yearning need to be toward, shoot, it'll be saved. If he had me where I ain't got nothing but just a little bit, as long as I can be saved. At the end of the day, my goal, my expectation, I just got to make it in. I know a lot of people, they going to give up, they going to quit. Y'all know how many folk done fell out? I look at some old pictures, I see people, I said, a lot of folk. Man, folks sung a lot of songs, gave a lot of testimony. Folk did a lot of reading. Folk done a whole lot of serving and work. Folk gave up and quit. I'm still here, though. I set my mind. Whatever can move in a person and say, forget him, don't worry about it no more, it ain't real, whatever. I ain't got that. I ain't gonna lie, it ain't in me. I believe with everything I got, I know it right. These folk don't want to believe, I know it right. I know it's a way right. These folk fight because everybody trying to create a way that seem right, but the end of it gonna be their demise. You know, sometimes you would look at what other folk, I used to do that, have my eyes on what other folk got, and I'm like, man, when my time, I'd like to have me. When it gonna work, I'd like to be able to be. And it take time. One thing I do, make sure you get settled with him so the stuff don't overtake you. Because he'll give you that stuff and he'll come and snatch it. A lot of folk will hit right that door. Folks be like, I just want to be with somebody and be happy. He'll give you somebody, you be so done happy, they drag you right outside that door. I ain't talking about just because they play. I'm talking about drag you out what you believe in. I seen folks come in, they came in, had nobody. Somebody come and drag them out the door. Say, is that how you came? I seen folks were brought him with folks to steal him. That's just being honest. They like, how you let somebody pull you out? What made you stop believing what you were believing? At the end of the day, that's what I believe. That's right. Y'all hear that man said we therefore have the same amanah, well, ruach amanah. I mean, I speak, that's what I believe. What I teach, that's what I believe.
That's right.
I don't believe nothing different what I'm teaching. If I don't believe it, I ain't gonna teach it.
Right.
If I see a word I don't agree, I say, I ain't that, I don't believe it. I ain't gonna say, man, I gotta make myself believe. Right. I ain't gotta make myself do nothing. I gotta live right. If I don't understand, I don't. We'll look it up. If I look at the definition, I understand, man, I ain't finna say here and say, yeah, I'm finna make myself understand. I don't understand it. Let me tell you something. A lot of people push to try to get a lot of understanding. Everything comes with time. You give up something to gain something. I got a better understanding I ever had. I had a perfect memory in a sense. I knew where stuff was. I knew what side. I could flip when I read because we were moving at a lot faster pace. So when I flip, I learned what side of the page certain things kind of fall on. So when I flip, I already know where my eyes need to be. Yeah. I learned how to fall and pick up, and you got to be able to pick up and go. Pick up and go, pick up and go. You can train yourself, you just pick up and go. Pick it up and go. Come on, roll, you got to move quick. And no, boom. So I'm flipping, boom, boom. Okay, I know, over here. It's over this side, boom, boom. I need to be over here. You position yourself. Your memory was good, but my understanding was weak. Because you know what? You can recite something and it'll sound like you understand it, but you really don't. And you went out to argue with anybody and say I did. But now we can stop and look at because I know what that says, the King James perversion. But then I read this, that says something different. So that stopped me in my tracks and say, that's not the way I remember it stated in my mind. So now I had to look at it and I had to pay attention and then look at what's the difference. So now I had to become like Dan. He said, because Dan was going to judge his people. And you had to be able to make a judgment call on that on, does this correspond with what's been already said? Just like Yahusha, when we read and looked at, when we took Beth Mashiach was the first one that showed me, and I came to knowledge that they actually pierced him while he was alive. The King James version said they did it after he moved, but it didn't make sense. That's why I had to start going back in my mind. I said, go back over. Start looking at how this whole thing came into play. Remember, he's only fulfilling. That's why he said, I did not come to destroy. I came to fulfill. That means I came to make a completion, right? These acts happen. So in order for them to be validated a lot of times, there needs to be a second appearance of them. So guess what? Now you can validate your amanah. That's how important it was. Him coming, he validated some things for us. Just like, recall having a son and Moot and her while she was in transition of Moot and she had the son before she moved. It made sense when Yahusha was giving birth to us that he would have died after he gave it to us. Y'all got what I'm saying? So you have to start aligning things to make sense. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck with, well, I'm going to go with this. This don't make sense. It's because you don't want it to.
Yep.
So you had to be willing to kind of excrete from your mind what you knew. That's a lot. You know how much stuff I knew? How much I've learned over the course of time? All the preachers I came along with, they'll tell you, man, that was it. They wasn't moved from that. They didn't want to know. I know, listen, man, you waste your time. That man said, listen, man, we had one, he said, you want to be successful at that song? But yeah, he said, go get you a teaspoon and a cup and move Stone Mountain to Chattanooga. Say you be better doing that than moving me for what I'm standing on. You're like, wow, that's a lot. And that's a good saying when you stand on a mott. It's dangerous when you stand on a fiction. That's scary. I remember, man, they said, listen, man, if I'm wrong, the Bible wrong.
Good.
That's what they used to say. They used to say, my wife, they used to say that. They said, if I'm wrong, God wrong, or the word wrong. They say stuff, I never did say that. I never said that. Not in my record, let me be clear. I never said it. And I stood on it that book was right now. I ain't lying myself up to say if I was wrong, he was wrong. I ain't do that. That just didn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? Because I could have not understood something completely. Like they didn't understand a whole lot of things. And I'm having that conversation with y'all because you have to be willing to transition. You have to be willing to stop being you. Sometimes our biggest hurt is us being us. It ain't, everybody's struggle ain't sex. Everybody's struggle ain't somebody else. Everybody's struggle not money. Everybody's struggle not their health. Sometimes people's struggle really is just them. So when you look at things like everybody individually will look at somebody else or look at other people and say, they don't have that struggle. Married people don't have to do it. Married people, it's people married struggling. So I don't know how people come up there. We learned this fella, he couldn't get it up for 3 years. That's rough. Man, I'll be honest, I just had to punch in her stomach. If I can't do that, Smith, I can't do that. I'm telling you, I'm gonna punch in your stomach.
Yeah.
I gotta get something. If I don't do them just run, just spill, just die across the bed, I can't let up for no 3 years now. Now that's something in a coma, like saying I got two of them, you know what I'm saying? I try to make one of them and do something. Something gotta help. Yeah. I can't be laying on no 3. Something gonna come up. Shoot, might give me some ice cream stick and wrap it up. Some kind of way, you know what I'm saying? Keep from going limp. I mean, you gotta do something, man. She might be, it's gonna be splendorous. You know what I'm saying? We gotta make it happen. Now, I can't let that no thing, man, no. But you know what? Yahuwah punish him.
Yeah.
The other one ran out here behind a woman, told her the worst sex he ever had. But you trying to run out behind these folks, it don't make no sense. Let me tell you something. When y'all come here, everybody, this is a test. That man, his whole time, he been trying to prove it to see whether or not we'll harm this man or not. And a lot of people have made it a situation of a person or a job or finance or their health. It's not about that. It's about harming him more than anything else you got.
That's right.
That man, every man want a son. I mean, every man he want a son. He typically wants a son. He'll take a daughter, he want a son. He look at that heir somebody has, and he gave Abraham one. And then told him, say, give him to me. That man, without hesitation, took that man up. That says a lot about his confidence in Elohim. He looked at, if this will help build up what you're doing, I'll do that. You know, a lot of times we don't look at that. You know, we look at, again, when we talked about how Amanah works and how we were told and how things were kind of presented to us. We never looked at us helping him, but in 2 Corinthians 6:1, he told us, he said, we did it workers together. That's Amanah. We help him. You think about what we do as a help. If I can do something, if you can do something, and it can present our order to somebody else, and it can attract somebody else to it, then we helping him. If he needed to do it himself, he wouldn't need us. Mm-hmm. And that right, he told us, he said, you were the or the arise. Mm-hmm. He said, you were the city that couldn't even be hid. People gotta see you. So, you know, a lot of times we don't look at in our everyday operation of what we can actually generate and how we can be a benefit to him. Because y'all know how many people saying what they can't do? It's too hard, I can't. I done tried, I don't know nobody doing it. That's a lie. These folks don't lie to me. So, oh, I know he a hypocrite. Listen, that's fine. You believe what you want to believe. I guarantee you wasting more time on me than I am on you. Mm-hmm. I have watched no videos on you. I don't know you. I don't care to know you. I assure you, you know more about me than I know about you. And you watch me because you know I got a stake in your behind. They know it. Every time I stand on that thing, that's another stake in their behind.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm nailing them down.
Yeah.
And when y'all take a stand and you hold on to what Elohim tell you, somebody got to make a difference. Y'all know how many women had a baby and walked away and gave up and quit? Gave up and quit. I tell y'all about a young lady, she had, I think it was her second, third one. I told that girl to stay there. I told her. I said, you might not make it back. She went on out that door. She didn't make it back. She just felt like it was too much criticism. Wasn't no criticism when she was on her back all them time. Somebody should have been criticizing you doing. I guess she was getting all them ups when she was on her back. So she was all right, but then she looked at, and nobody said she felt she started taking on her self-conviction. And it wasn't conviction what she done, the fact that people gonna be looking at me. I know what folks say. Well, that was the case, you shouldn't have done it. But with everybody in here, some of us have to go through and we gotta be what we call the test dummies. We do, we gotta be the test dummies. Cause we are the people that have the experience. You can't tell, I'm gonna tell a man about doing something he ain't never done. It's not gonna be really validated for him. But when you got people that say, listen, I've done it. Let me tell you what you have to go through and what you suffer behind it. I'm telling you, so now it comes with a little bit, now personally get somebody with experience. Versus sometimes we'll all talk and none of us done something. Nobody out there who got the experience gonna listen to us. They're gonna say, you were born like that, you a preacher, you got spirit, of course you ain't never done it, you don't understand. We all got track lives. We done been in the street. We done homosexual act. We done smoked drugs. We've been arrested. We've been probation. Everything these folks use excuse saying they can't do. These folks certain people just make excuses and tell lies. It's all about what you want to do.
That's it.
Everybody struggle with something. Everybody struggle with something. At the end of the day, that's part of what life is. You learn to beat it and defeat it.
Yeah.
Because somebody watching. Man, I could have been cried and quit and walked away and left. You know how much stuff I have on me? Every day. My phone gonna ring every day because something going on. I'm gonna get a text about this, or dad gonna go and you gotta do that, and you still gotta take care of business. You still got your home life. You still got yourself. Eventually, you'll think about it and you'll do it. You still got other stuff you gotta do, and you still gotta maintain stuff and make sure that somebody else will hit you with something going on, something going. And people, when they hit me, people counting on me. Ain't nobody counting me. They call me and say, "Man, I'm going through myself." I was gonna tell you to pray. You call me, preacher, God, this going on something. I said, man, I was gonna ask you to pray for me. You be like, oh, it's tired. You be like, let me hang that phone. Man, folks, you know how many folks walk out of here?
Yeah. Yeah.
You come in, preacher, yeah, man, man, me and you both, man, pray for me. like, I don't expect it now. That throw
It
you.
would.
You know, but you know what, Mr. Yahuwah built me a certain type of way I've been in. I don't never make it by myself. Yeah. I don't never go here, oh, I don't get no me time. Oh, I gotta go. That stuff don't bother me. I had me time. When I was in them streets, look at that. I played around them streets, that were all me time. Isn't that right? That'd be just like them teachers give you that F. You sit here and play around my class. Don't try to jump in. Last few minutes, don't try to write nothing. Get that paper, that's an F.
Yeah.
You know, you don't play it around. Now you gotta hurry up right now. They be like, hey, listen, what you trying to think? You trying to make excuses why you couldn't and you need more time. You were playing around. So all that time I played around, he looked at, that was your me time. Now, like y'all said, it's his time. He looked at y'all said, no, he said, it's my time. His time about these people. I gotta make sure these folks got it. Make sure these folks all right. My member sick, that be on my law. I be polite. I tell these members, I tell y'all something gonna be all right. That's my confidence. I put me aside. I don't be like, well, I don't have to say, take off that stuff off that I was asking about. Because he know when I talk to him, I'm asking about these members. I'm asking about these folks well. If I know these folks, man, I know a lot of stuff I did. I said, these folks can't suffer what I suffer. And ain't not that I'm no great person. I just realize with the position come, it just come with. You gotta be willing to put yourself on the side. You gotta be willing, some have these members. These members need you gotta be there. These members ain't got no time in that world, broke down nowhere, can't hardly make it, sitting around there crying and hollering, folks gotta pimp me and drag me. Man, the folks pick me up and drop me right in front of that street. That's what they supposed to, right on that expressway bridge. Folks, that's what I'm saying, folks be counting. And I tell some folks, I hear, don't be putting all that on me. That stuff don't bother me. I'm good with it. That's my life. That's the life I chose. Y'all say I go on vacation, I'll take y'all. I'd rather be with y'all. Take y'all right on there with me. I know how to fuss at you later, but they're gonna be all right. They're gonna go to job. They say, I can rest your kid you get. You want to fuss later, but at the end of the day, I don't have no problem being there. I don't be about, man, you need some me time. Get away. I don't need no getaway time. I'd be good. This him. All I need to do that man work, that's that. Secondly, I don't ask him. He know your law. I'm gonna need to smoke some hemp and go to bed. That's it. That's my life. I don't want a whole lot. I don't want a whole lot. Turn the TV on, let the TV. Listen, all we went. I mean, if I could just stay in that bed and smoke that hemp and then burn that bed up, wow, that I've been just as content as anybody else. I don't need a whole lot. I done done a whole lot. I mean, after a while, you get on. My whole end now working out. I'm closer to getting out of here than staying in here. So you got to start weighing and looking at where you at. Me and my wife out looking at that, she was talking, she said something. Man, I seen some rancor get on her neck. I said, I said, well, you old. I looked at her, I told her. She had that thing, I saw some things start shooting her neck. I said, that's something me, I'm married too old. I said, that's something me. I gotta suffer that. What I'm gonna do, Ryan? I went out there and got a cougar. Ain't that right? I said, she did something. Some things start shooting her neck. I said, boy, that's it right now. I said, well, we're on our way to the nursing home. But we done had our time, though. She ain't always been like that. Cold everywhere she go. I was looking at her, I said, but I'm sorry right there, but going back to the duck. She walking around outside in the sun. I said, what wrong with you, nigga? I always call her affection name. I said, what wrong with you, nigga? She said, I'm cold. I said, nursing home. That's all I say. All that stuff just nursing home pile up. You live long enough, you have your young days, your old days coming. You know, right? So I started trying to set myself aside now. Start looking at putting my mind, make sure where my affection at. Cause I don't want nothing to come and take me down. Y'all get, you can put too much in folks and put too much on things, and you come along, that be your fall. That don't mean you're on the hard folk. Your hard be hard, but you make sure your most affection or hard, make sure it's on him first. He'll be the keeper, he'll be the sustainer. These folk getting out of here, everybody living, gotta move. Everybody, ain't nobody exempt. So you make sure when it's your time and who you got your eyes on, that don't be your everything. Ain't no katata cry or nothing like that, but you don't want nobody to be your everything. At the end of the day, my whole hope is him. That's why I'm trying to go to see. I ain't trying to be up there with my wife. We go out there, we're gonna be brothers. Down here, let's get it on. Sugar, let's get it on. Woo! Yeah! Y'all, I like y'all been a beautiful audience. If y'all just learn how to sing like that, that's the truth. Now we go there, we're gonna be brothers. Don't be up there talking about what we did down here. That's the, we getting mad cool, we can't talk about that. Tell me that, hey, I ain't gay. Cause we up there, we move straight. We can't have them conversations. Remember that time, hey, I'm straight. Y'all got it. But you know what, everybody, and I said this, you know, humorous, appreciate everybody, but I say this with everybody. Everybody here, everybody out there, got all our different walks. We gotta try to walk through and we gotta complete. And it's somebody watching. There's always somebody making excuses, looking to try to say why they can't do something. He looking for somebody ain't making no excuses. It is. Sometimes you might wonder why you go through stuff and why you suffer stuff. And I'm being honest, I'm in it. And when you going through it, one thing you don't want to hear nobody tell you about. See, he got you. You need to shut up. Cause when you going through, I'm being honest. I've been through. You don't want to hear that stuff. He got you going through for it. Shut your mouth, okay? Cause you're trying to embottle that in your mind and make sense out of it and put it together. And that's a hard thing. But when you mature and once you come out, you get to understand why he'll let you go through. Because you got to be here for somebody else. None of us in here are living to ourselves. We live for a purpose. The whole thing of how he put us together is to be a body. Your body consists of many members, and all of them work for a purpose. If you decide you're going to go get some water, your throat is thirsty and dry. Not your toes and your feet and your hands. Not your back. Not your eyes. But you're going to get up and all them things going to work together for you. Isn't that right? If you feel like, well, I don't want to open my eyes to go, listen, your hand going to try to reach out and your feet going to take life steps. Cause I don't want to get hurt while we're on this endeavor. If you ain't going to use your eye, then I'm going to try to move and the mind going to try to work and try to guide you right on the way you going. And he said, I didn't know that was right there. And get you alert because everything working together. Don't want nothing to happen to you. While you're on your endeavor to try to go get you a glass of water. You go into the bathroom, your back and your eyes ain't got to pee. your private member doing it, releasing from the kidney actually releasing it. But guess what? The rest of your body gonna work together to try to get you there and make sure it functions and happen. That's right. Your kidney not gonna literally put it down now. It's some other thing that's gonna come down from there now, that connect down from your kidney, that run down to the urinary tract. They're gonna allow that water to flow and come on out. They're gonna work together for it. And if everything working like it's supposed to, some supposed to say white, shake, and don't stick it back in there and piss up everything in that bathroom. And then the other thing supposed to tell you, wash your hand. If you don't, shut the body down. It's just dirt. When I don't win and go back and go to sleep. Now that body ain't no good. You get rid of that body. Y'all all right? Yes, sir. I ain't gonna hold y'all all night. Deuce, you ready to go? You ready to go? You try to make it about you. You ready to go? One of them smell kids that do that. Then what I do, I appreciate y'all, the folks watching in too. I tell everybody to be real with yourself. If you don't believe it, don't try to make yourself do nothing. I ain't making myself believe nothing. I don't want to believe it. It got to make sense for me to believe it. When I read this and start to put it together, it makes sense. Yes, a man wrote it. The men that were inspired by Elohim. Yes, some other men came in behind him and tried to distort it to keep her from knowing their mind. But Elohim, being Amanah, being as he is, he come right back and get us and give us a law to like turn back to him. And it makes sense. I understand why I'm going. Like a lot of people struggling why they quit. They don't know why they're going through. I did stuff. Just like when he came down to Ali, when he told her, I ain't talking about Muhammad Ali either. When Ali came, he told her he was going to cut him off. He told her, it's Yahuwah. Yahuwah let you know, he let him know. I had conversations with you about this before. I already talked to you about it, and you regarded your boys. He said, more than you regarded me. And let him know you're going to cut that man, I'm going to shut your breath down. So he's good at that. What kind of fools is that? I've been serving the Lord, loving, living right. That man said, it's Yahuwah. He let him know, he heard, he knew. He said, that's Yahuwah. So I know what they told him. That's why I told y'all, I can't run out that door and go out there and be whole-mongering and doing that stuff and women. I can't go out there and do it. It ain't going to work for me. I already know I ain't going to try. I ain't going to say, maybe if I it ain't worth it. I done enough. I'm good. Me and Smitty going on home. Her neck, my 2 minutes, will make it work. You know, right? Her little cold self, and wrap her cold self right on back up. That's it. We going on, finish up. Then we got the rest of them. We can watch a 60-minute movie. Isn't that right? 2 minutes of loving kindness, 1 minute clean up, and then we got 57 more minutes. Watch that movie go on with no commercials. Isn't that right? They know, man, I be out all night. That's because you don't know what you're doing. All these 5-hour liars. And a thing but a liar. Yeah, sitting there bouncing up on somebody on 5 hours. Ain't that right? Like my enemy said, that's why you ask yourself, what you trying to do? I'm be bouncing up for no 5 hours. Go set yourself down. That press that woman's stomach. One gonna be around and vomit or mess on herself. Man, you ain't killing time. 5 hours, get up there, you don't know what you're doing. What have been through. Isn't that right? 5 hours. Hold on, 3 more hours. What are you doing? Well, these folks know they funny. Well, you gotta tell yourself something, boy, to make yourself live. Listen, I ain't trying to live no lie. I appreciate Yahuwah for everything he give me to do. I appreciate being alive. I appreciate him at the end of the day. Isn't that right? At the end of the day, what's the most important thing I tell you about? Make sure you're saved. Everybody just make sure you're saved. All right? All right, that's two. Y'all been a beautiful audience. Isn't that right? Y'all ain't loud, but y'all are loud.